Fire up Mason Rudolph if you're absolutely desperate. Shouldn't be that
Don't
desperate.
fire up Mason Rudolph,
Don't
even if
fire
you're
him up.
desperate.
Don't
Throwing for 300.
Yeah, don't. Bengals at Browns. Cover your mouth. They won't just steal your order.
He has been quarterback 11 or higher 3 of the last 4 weeks. And everybody hates on this guy. It is Danny Dimes.
I'm hanging up right now. I can't believe it. I'm hanging up.
No. Welcome in, boys. Good evening.
What up, what up?
Corey is frozen. He's going to be in and out. Either he might pop back in. He might stay out. But
You don't know. The internet out there is going bonkers for him. It's too bad.
you're pretty
Well,
fuzzy yourself.
you're fuzzy for me. Wonder what's going
That's
on.
your internet.
Ooh.
Oh, there we go. Hey, now you look clear.
Say maybe it was Corey's.
Ah,
Is it affecting all of us?
he's back. All right.
Guess who's back?
Don't move too much.
Bro, when you said I had to restart, I thought you were restarting your computer. That's why I started talking.
Nope. You're good.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome on in to WPF, the When Pigs Can Fly Fantasy Football Show. We are your hosts of the show. I am Sal Adams. That is Corey Lamberts. Hopefully he stays on all night. And that is the Wesley Bryant.
Don't hold your breath.
Doing?
Good. How are you?
Great day. It was a great day. It's a little bit brisk up here, so, but I'm doing well.
Yeah, it finally cooled off.
Lions made a big splash. Zadarius Smith is now my boy.
Oh man,
We're homies like that now.
I wanted to talk to you guys about that. I wanted to see if you want to talk about the trade deadline day acquisitions from all over the league, but forgot about that
There was a lot.
because I'm tired. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have a ton of time. Man, we're all Lions fans. We were going to cover that. Zadarius Smith, we're excited to have you, brother. Looking forward to seeing you rip some quarterbacks down, get some pressure off on them to kind of help our secondary.
Steelers took Preston Smith from the Packers somehow, and they got Mike Williams from the Jets.
Yeah,
They
Big
did.
ones.
They did indeed.
But
I think ESPN had the Lions and the Steelers as the two winners at the trade deadline.
Yeah, especially at the discount rate that we got Zadarius at
Oh, yeah.
$600,000 and a fifth and a sixth, and we still got a seventh back too.
let
so.
Brad Holmes cook.
Let him cook. Well, we have a pretty fun show, loaded full of stuff that we've got to do and that we're going to go through. Not that we got to, but we get to. We have positional power rankings tonight. We have the TNF preview with picks and locks for it. We have studs, we have duds, and we have trending hot and trending not. Then after we get through all that, we're going to go on ahead and predict our home league games. Let's not all go for me beating somebody this week, because that's not faring well for me when we do it. With that said, there's a whole lot to get through tonight, so fasten your seatbelts on up, y'all, because the WPF show is about to take flight.
And we're live again.
Oh, man.
We're back.
Let's ride.
Corey's still
Let's
here
ride.
for now.
For now.
We keep
First-
talking about it. It's not going to happen.
I'm hoping
First
it
on the-
doesn't happen.
First on the docket tonight, trending hot and trending not. Who's catching fire and who's sending you to the waiver wire? You guys want to kick that off?
Yes, I'll go.
All right.
Are
Start us off.
we
I've
just
got two of each. So I've got two of each.
I
so
got
you-
one trending hot and
Perfect.
two trending nots.
Okay.
So my trending hot is also my stud tight end of the week, and I will say that is Mike Gesicki.
Super hot.
The last 2 weeks with Higgins out, he had, I believe, 19.3 fantasy points and 32 fantasy points. That's, again, tight end premium. Go ahead, Sal. You can do all that math. What's that, like 14.3 and 22, something like that?
I don't know without looking at the numbers.
Yeah. Mike Gesicki. You don't know how. Maybe even if Higgins comes back, them seeing how well Gesicki's done for them, he might be like the George Kittle of the 49ers, or well,
That'd be nice.
not that much, but Joe Burrow knows he can rely on him.
Yeah, for sure.
You want to do all of our hots first, or want me to do my not?
I'll throw out a trending hot unless you've got one. Corey, go ahead.
Yeah, I do. It's actually, I hate to say this,
It's my
Cowboys
guy.
quarterback.
Oh,
No, it's not a my guy. It's Cowboys quarterback Cooper Rush. Let's see
Interesting.
if he can figure out a way to get the Cowboys offense rolling. It's unlikely that he'll do it with the head coach that they have, but I digress. But
Don't race out there to go get him yet, but
you're trending
definitely
hot
yeah,
for
that's
Cooper
right.
Rush.
Mm,
You think
yeah,
they'll give Cooper Rush, or do you think Trey Lance?
they already came out and said Rush was starting
Oh,
this
did
week.
they? Okay, I missed that.
Gosh,
Yeah.
what a career for Trey Lance so far. Not the way we expected it to go. I'm gonna jump in with my trending hot. I've got two of them. If you guys want me to run both of them, I will.
Go for it. I don't have any more.
My first one, 4 straight weeks with a touchdown. This is a wide receiver. 7.9 plus in every single one of those 4 weeks. In the last 2 weeks, he's posted a 92% snap count and a 97% snap count since they traded away his teammate. I'm talking about Nick Westbrook-Ikine.
Oh yeah, that's right.
2% ownership in redraft leagues, ladies and gentlemen. I just told you 4 straight weeks with a touchdown. The last 2 weeks, they bumped him up to 92 and 97% snap count, and he is getting targets.
Yeah.
He's going to be a guy worth monitoring. He is trending
Yep.
hot. My
He's
other
definitely,
one,
He's
definitely.
got somebody who can throw him the ball though.
as long as Mason Rudolph is slinging the rock to him, baby. He
Yeah.
hasn't hit 300 yet, has he? But he's might.
Are you sure about that?
My next up for trending hot is another wide receiver. He's only at 6% ownership in redraft leagues, guys. 6+ targets in 3 of the last 4 weeks. 9.8 plus fantasy points in each of those 3 weeks that he had 6+ targets.
Pick your nails. Ew, stop being nasty.
10.26
I have a hangnail right there.
yards per target. 10.26 yards per target. 14.45 yards per catch. I'm talking about the guy that shut down the Chicago Bears, Noah Brown.
Way to go, Noah Brown.
I almost picked him up, and I'm like, is that going to continue? I don't know. I'm a skeptic. I'm skeptical.
75% hit rate in the last 4 weeks. So
Words are hard.
Yeah. I think Westbrook-Ikine is definitely the hottest hot.
I definitely
that you can
think
get
he's
right
hotter right now. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Let's go to trending not. I've got 2 trending knots as well. What do you guys got?
2.
Just the
Corey?
one for me.
Corey,
Let's
go
yeah,
first.
Michael.
Corey,
I'll do
let's
mine.
let him go. Yeah, okay.
let Corey go.
I'll
'cause you got one.
do just the one. It should be an easy one. It's probably the most obvious one with the return of CMC,
All
Jordan
right,
Mason.
I only have one. That's why I let him go first.
Way down. Way down.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw, but the last 4 weeks he's been sub 10 fantasy
He has
points.
not been great. I said that in our last show that I dropped him
Yeah.
because I knew that CMC was coming back, and he's just been not good.
Yep.
Go ahead, Wes.
My trending knot is he might have been brought up last week. I don't know. I'm still trying to get over this cold. My brain's a little foggy, fuzzy. I got Devin Singletary. The last 3 weeks, I think 3 fantasy points, 4 fantasy points, 3 fantasy points. Tyrone Tracy is the new guy for sure.
Yep.
For the New Jersey Giants. Oh yeah, the New York Football Giants, right? All right, that's it. Devin Singletary, and I also had Jordan Mason.
I have 2 running backs. Running back number 1 is 99% owned in redraft leagues. Started in 48% of leagues this last week. He's only played 3 games this year.
Nick Chubb.
22 yards. 52 yards. 39 yards. He's had 42 carries for 113 yards and 1 touchdown for a whopping 2.69 yards per carry. It's Nick Chubb.
Oh, that's right.
It's Nick Chubb. I told you last week
Once
that
you
this last
said
game,
3 games, I was like, it's got to be Nick Chubb.
I told you guys last week, this last game was going to be my cutoff for him. Man, if he doesn't pick it up, I'm throwing in the towel. I'm moving on. He's sending me to the waiver wire. I'm not impressed. The other one is a part
You won't
of
drop him,
the.
though.
I wouldn't drop him, but I certainly
No.
wouldn't. No, I wouldn't drop him.
I don't know if that's more of an indication on just the offense in general running the ball.
It could be, yeah. Looking ahead, this guy had the RB1 week a couple weeks back. Came to the scene and absolutely blew everybody's minds. Since then, he has not crested 5 carries once. He has not crested 30 yards once since then. It's been 3 weeks. It's time to move on from this guy. He is 74% owned in leagues. He is RB3 on his own team. It's Sean Tucker.
I knew it. Man, I'm good at this guessing game.
Tucker.
Move on from Sean Tucker. Trending
Sean
not.
Tucker.
He's sending you to the waiver wire. You don't want
Yeah.
that guy anymore. It's
Bye.
clearly not him that you want.
I think
I'm not
Rashad
saying-
White's starting to turn it around.
I'm not saying you want Rashad White. I'm not saying you want any of those backs, but you definitely don't want that one.
Yeah.
That's
Cool.
trending hot and trending not for us.
That is correct.
That is
Mhm.
correct.
We're going with are we doing
Wow.
power rankings now?
We can go power rankings or
Yes,
TNF.
power
Let's
rankings,
go
yeah.
power rankings.
Yeah, let's do Thursday night football before our league picks. Let's
Oh,
end on Thursday night football.
Ooh, and
Mhm.
okay.
I'll get us started. Power rankings for QBs.
Okay.
Jump right in the QBs. Is it the same as last week? I think numbers moved around a little bit. It might be still the same 5 guys. At number 5, you got Josh Allen, 23.9 points per game. He has had 5 QB1 weeks.
Yes.
4, Joe Burr. 24.2 points per game. Also 5 QB1 weeks. Number 3, I was a little surprised to see him up here. He's kind of been sneakily good. I just don't pay attention to this team that much because I'm not a big fan. Jalen Hurts of the Eagles, 24.6 points per game. He had 6 QB1 weeks. Number 2 is still hanging on with no receivers. Baker Mayfield, 27.6 points per game, 7 QB1 weeks. And-
Tight ends or receivers.
No receivers. Number 1, they can catch the ball, but they're not wide receivers. Number 1, and still number 1, Lamar Jackson, 29.5 points per game, 8 QB1 weeks.
Actually, there was one different player. One guy supplanted another player. Joe Burrow entering the top 5 kicked Jordan Love out.
Oh, yeah. That's because Jordan Love played the Lions.
Sorry, Sal.
Hey, man. My quarterbacks were trash this week.
Yeah, they were.
Yep.
Except for JD. Go ahead. Oh, I'll go next. I'm gonna jump into well, which one do I want to do? I want to do tight ends. I'm gonna change it up a little bit.
All right.
Going at number 5, 11.64 points per game. Now this is based on just a normal PPR, no tight end premium, by the way, gentlemen. With 4 tight end 1 games on the season, Trey McBride. Coming in at number 4, 12.23 fantasy points per game with 5 tight end 1 finishes. K. Dotton, receiver.
He's the guy.
Coming at number 3, 12.69 points per game, 4 tight end 1 games. It is Travis Kelce. Yep. Coming in at number 2 with 14.11 points per game, 6 tight end 1 games on the season. It is Brock Bowers, and coming in at number 1, boasting a darn near 4 points per game higher than number 2 at 18.04 points per game. He has been in the top 10 of tight ends 7 out of 7 games this year. I'm talking about George Kittle, who was featured on receiver and would probably argue that a tight end is a receiver, by the way, Wesley.
He is.
Yep.
Sorry, he has no wide receivers.
I'll take running backs. I'll take running backs this week. Coming in at number 5, Kenneth Walker, 19.1 points per game, 3 RB1 weeks. Number 4, Alvin Kamara, 21.2 points per game, 4 RB1 weeks. Wesley nodding his head. It's one of the guys carrying his team. Coming in number 3, Joe Mixon, 21.4 points per game, 4 RB1 weeks. Number 2, Saquon Barkley, 22.1 points per game, 5 RB1 games. And then still reigning king, Derrick Henry,
Saquon's reeling him in,
22.4
though.
points per game. Yeah, he is. He's coming. He's reeling them in quick. 6 RB1 games for Derrick Henry.
He
So
keeps jumping over people backwards. He's going to be jumping over everybody.
Oh yeah,
that should be the new Madden cover next year.
that was insane. Wide receivers, I'll take that.
Mm.
Actual people that are labeled wide receivers. Number
Oh, okay.
5 of the New York Jets, Garrett Wilson, 17.4 points per game. He's had 3 wide receiver 1 week.
Has it
4.
been the last 3 weeks?
It probably has been.
Yeah,
At least the
yes,
last
they
2
have
for
been.
sure. Another New York team, Malik Neighbors, rookie, 8.4 points per game with the New York Giants. 3 wide receiver 1 games. Kind of confused on this one. And he's probably not going to stay up there too much longer unless Cooper Rush gets him the ball. But CeeDee Lamb at number 3, 18.5 points per game, 2 wide receiver 1 weeks. And then still the top 2 is still the LSU boys, Jamar Chase, the Bengals, 18.9 points per game, 3 wide receiver 1 games. And 1, Justin Jefferson, 19.7 points per game, also 3 wide receiver 1 weeks games.
Yeah, he's
3
been-
LSU receivers on that list.
Yeah, Malik Neighbors.
Mm.
And CD not staying up there very long. He's also got an AC joint sprain on his right shoulder.
Oh, I did. Yeah, I think I saw
Keep an
that.
eye on. Yeah, something to keep an eye on.
Yep.
We'll see if
He might not be eligible for the list if he doesn't play.
see if he's eligible for the list next week. So,
Mm-hmm.
next on our agenda, we've got studs and we've got duds.
Mm-hmm.
Who's gonna break us off on this one? You guys want me to go?
You can go.
Go for it.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and start us off with running backs. My
I thought
running
you were on
backs.
tight ends again.
Nope, not going to do that. My running back stud on the week had 26.7 fantasy points in a PPR format. He was RB4 on the week, and something happened with what I have going on here. So give me just a second. I wanted to bring up his stats for you. 27 carries, 120 yards, 5 catches for 37 yards, and a touchdown.
Oh,
This is a guy that I believe we told you to lock and be paying attention to last week. It is Chase Brown.
Talk about something catching fire.
Mm.
They just
Yeah, no
traded
kidding.
for Khalil Herbert. That's another one.
Mm-hmm.
But still keep an eye on Chase Brown. I like it.
Yep.
My dud on the week had 5 fantasy points. He was good enough for RB 40. 3 carries for 24 yards, 2 receptions for 6 yards. I am talking about the backup Jacksonville running back, Travis Etienne.
I'll go
Ooh.
next because
Well played.
my running back was RB2 on the week. 12 carries, 63 yards, 8 targets, 8 receptions, 58 yards, 1 rushing touchdown, 1 receiving touchdown. It's good for 32.1 fantasy points. Devon Achane.
Yeah, he was insane.
You
Traded for
did
him in a
very
redraft
well.
this week.
Nice. And my dud? The starting running back for the Jaguars, Tank Bigsby. 8 carries, 22 yards, 0 targets, 2.2 points. Running back 58 on the week.
Yeah, they're bad.
Yeah, not a good week for those guys.
I thought ETN was gonna get traded. Honestly,
So did
I
I.
did too.
I think we all did.
For sure. Yep.
I wonder if there
Um,
wasn't so many last-minute injuries to the Cowboys, if that's where he would have went. Having
Probably.
Dak and CD hurt right now, just why would you trade for ETN?
no. Why would you
Well, the
trade for
fact that-
Jonathan Mingo? Anyway,
And Cowboys fans,
That's a
Cowboys
great
fans are not
question.
happy. I can tell you that. I'll jump right in here. It's a former my guy actually. Running back 6 on the week, 24.5 fantasy points, 14 carries, 85 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 catches, on 2 targets for 20 yards. J.K. Dobbins.
He wanted to say Tutty so bad.
I did.
I could tell you're like,
Um,
2 touchdowns.
Downs. It's late, man. Leave me alone. And then my dud of the week, 13 carries, 48 yards, no touchdowns, 3 catches on 5 targets for 11 yards, good enough for 8.9 fantasy points. Running back 32, the starting running back for the Indianapolis Colts, Jonathan Taylor.
Oh, yeah. What a stinker.
Yep. Yes,
All
sir.
right. That's your running backs for studs and duds. Wes, you want to go?
I'll jump into QBs.
Okay.
Because this is probably, I think this is the first and probably gonna be the last time I ever mentioned this guy as a stud for QBs. Aaron Rodgers, 22 for 32, 211 yards, 3 touchdowns, 26.34 fantasy points, QB 8 on the week. And my dud, another old man, Joe Flacco. 16 for 27, 179 yards, an interception, 3.1 points, QB 32. Sorry, old Joe. Better luck next week.
Nice.
I'll jump right on into QBs. My QB stud of the week was QB 6. He had 28.1 fantasy points. He went 21 of 34 for 363 passing yards. He had 3 touchdowns. He would have been, I might be mistaken, but he would have had 34.1 fantasy points, which would have put him in the top 3, I believe, for quarterbacks in the week had he not thrown 3 interceptions. It's Geno Smith.
Oof.
My QB dud on the week went 11 of 30 for 191 yards. He had 8 carries for 59 yards. 11.5 fantasy points was good for QB 27 on the week. I fully expected a better performance than this. CJ Stroud.
I really
Yikes.
almost picked him as my dud. I was like, you know what? I can't do it to him again. I've already dudded him twice this year. It's not the sales guy.
Sophomore slump.
It's not
I
gonna get
hate to
better
mention
next
this
week.
guy. I know. I hate to mention this guy. Mostly because we have him a little. Oh, I think he's talked about in our cutscene. 20 for 26, 174 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks,
Oh, baby.
7 carries, 54 yards, and another touchdown on the ground. QB5 on the week, 28.9 fantasy points. I'm sorry, 28.36 fantasy points. Danny Dimes.
Danny Dimes.
And he lost.
So gross. So gross.
Fantasy man.
Oh man. Oh my goodness.
That
And
sticker
then
I always put in our group chat of him sprinting, I just want to put that on the screen right now. Just
I wish I think you should. If you can, do it. And then my dud this week, 13 for 20, 154 yards, no touchdowns, 2 carries for 6 yards, no touchdowns, 4.76 fantasy points, QB 30 on the week. Kyler Murray.
Yeah, he's probably
really
played too much Call of Duty.
You've been staying up late, not practicing, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Corey, you want to go first?
Yeah,
You get to
I'll
pick.
go. Yeah, I'm going to take wide receivers, my friend. I will take wide receivers. This should be pretty obvious if any of you play PPR, fantasy football. Wide receiver 1 this week, 7 catches on 13 targets, 180 yards, 2 touchdowns, 37 fantasy points. He was our do not start this guy or do not lock this guy this week because he was one the week before. JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Oh man.
Monster game. Man, I was wrong. And I'm
when
sorry
you say
that I
we,
led
I
you
think you're
astray.
talking about you.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you go ahead and play the video back last week, you all agreed with me. So we'll
I didn't say a word about him.
And then my dud this week, 2 catches on 4 targets, 22 yards. He was definitely a don't start, given the fact that it was going to be a game time decision with his chest injury. Wide receiver 59, 6.2 fantasy points, Brian Thomas Jr.
I see yours and I raise you one. Wide receiver, Demarcus Robinson.
Very good.
catches on 9 targets, 94 yards, 2 touchdowns, including the game winner in overtime. 27.4 fantasy points. Wide receiver 5 on the week. Uh-oh.
So sorry to interrupt.
Boy.
Oh, you know what
boy.
that
What do you
sound
think it is?
means?
Oh, what does it mean? What do you got for us, buddy?
Hello, gentlemen. My poop pile of the week is DJ Moore. He completed 4 out of 9 receptions for a total of 33 yards. He left the field mid-play. Was it injury? Was it something else? I don't know. He did return the play after. So, for those reasons, my poop pile of the week goes to DJ Moore.
DJ Moore. What are you doing, man?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Dude, how do you walk off the field mid-play?
Emotional, damn
Like, your boy Caleb is sitting there evading these guys trying to knock him down. He still comes all the way across the other side of the field nearly and tries to throw it to Keenan Allen, who doesn't make the catch, but still, he doesn't have any more options. DJ Moore is sitting on the bench getting some Gatorade or something.
Yeah, maybe you should join Anthony Richardson over there.
Yeah, that's a good poop pile. Thank you, Shannon.
He's tired. He's tired, man. He's tired of running around.
Take me out, coach.
Fantasy flop, baby.
Oh.
For sure.
Oh, well, my wide receiver dud, wide receiver 60 on the week, Elijah Moore. 3 receptions, 28 yards on 9 targets.
Wow.
3
Okay,
receptions on
that.
9 targets, 5.8 points.
Man, oh man.
Elijah Moore.
I would love to slide in here. Wide receiver 4 on the week. I hate to bring this guy up because I hate talking about his team. 28.6 fantasy points on the week. He had 9 targets, 8 receptions, 86 yards, and 2 touchdowns to a brand new team. It is Nuke. DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
My wide receiver stud on the week. And my wide receiver dud for 2 reasons, okay? He was wide receiver 89 on the week. This is not one of the reasons. 2.10 fantasy points on the week. Also, not one of the 2 reasons.
Oh my gosh.
2 reasons. He had 1 catch on 4 targets for 11 yards. That's reason 1. Reason 2, he got ejected for throwing a punch after the first half.
Good. I'm glad you picked him.
He's my wide receiver dud for the week. Wide receiver 89. What are you thinking, man? Throwing punches, stinking up the first half. Oh, gosh. He's my dud on the week.
Do you have him?
I know.
Nope. Doss has him.
Ooh. Sorry, Doss.
Trade him to me, Doss.
Is that it? First dozen duds?
No, we
We
got
gotta do
tight ends.
tight ends
Tight
yet.
ends.
I'll jump on into tight ends.
Okay.
My stud on the week, tight end number 3. I believe he's been a stud of mine more than once now, but and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. 29.7 fantasy points. He had 8 catches for 77 yards and a touchdown. That's going to be 21.7 in a normal PPR format. I'm talking about Cade Otton. Cade Otton, the wide receiver 1 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The wide receiver 1
Tight end. He's a tight end.
for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. When stuff gets murky for Baker, that's where he's looking. I don't know if you guys watched them play against Kansas City. Cade Otton's the guy. My dud on the week had 4.6 fantasy points. He was tight end 31, 2 targets, 2 catches, 26 yards. Mark Andrews.
Yep. Tight ends. Like I said, this was my trending hot guy, Mike Gesicki. This week he went 5 for 6, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. In our league, that's good for 32 points. Tight end 2 on the week. My dud, 6 targets, 21 yards on 3 receptions. 8.1 points. Tight end 28. This is none other than Dalton Schultz.
Yeah.
Are
Gosh, I hate
these,
to be the guy that
are
don't-
these
that
bad
don't
targets?
I don't know.
Is your boy Stroud just not getting the ball in good spots or what?
I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. I don't know.
It's under
I'm
pressure a
gonna
lot.
pretend I didn't watch the game and I didn't see how bad it was. I think it's bad targets, and truly, I don't think the bad targets are necessarily CJ's fault. If you watch them play, that offensive line is abysmal. It's been rough. Laramie Tunsil, Laramie is his name.
Laramie.
Tunsil,
Yep, that's right. Yep, Laramie. Yep.
included, has not been great. He's been pedestrian. He picked up like 5 penalties in the first half in this last
Can't
game.
wait to see Aleem McNeil and Darius Smith this week.
You know, I'm interested to see what happens. I'm
Levi
interested.
Onwuzurike's getting a sack.
Let's say, and Josh Pascal's supposed to be
Josh
available next
Pascal's
time, right?
back.
You get a sack.
Mm.
You get a sack. Handing out sacks like Oprah. That's it for studs and duds. Yes.
That is
I got one
correct.
more.
Oh,
Skip me.
Oh,
We
sorry.
That's all right.
We
I
thought,
was-
They're not that big.
we thought you phased out again. Go ahead.
Here comes Corey's
That's all
my
right.
guys.
No, actually, one of
got,
them's your guy.
Brock Bowers
so
and
my tight end start of the week is somebody we weren't expecting because we were expecting his teammate to be a lock. 5 catches on 5 targets, 58 yards, a touchdown, good enough for 16.8 points in 1.5 point tight end premium. 21.8 if it's 2-point tight end premiums. Josh Oliver, tight end 4 on the week.
Ooh.
Josh Oliver.
Who's he
Josh
play for?
Oliver, yeah, the Vikings,
The Vikings.
the
TJ
Minnesota
Hawkins.
Vikings, and then my dud of the week, you would think would have been TJ Hawkinson, but no. It was another one of my locks this week. 1 of 1 for 11. 2.6 fantasy points. Tight end 40. Kyle Pitts.
Oh yeah. Talk about the Atlanta
Dude.
Falcons offense is the inconsistency at its finest when it comes to getting production from their stars.
All 3 of our duds are on my roster. If you'd have told me at the beginning of the season that I was going to have Dalton Schultz, Mark Andrews, Kyle Pitts, I'd been ecstatic.
this
If
is
you'd have told me
deja
they were
vu.
all going to stink, dude,
Mhm.
it's kiss keeps happening to me, man.
This cough is killing me. Ugh.
Mm.
Well, that will wrap it up on studs and duds. Corey, I apologize for trying to skip you on that.
That's all right.
Chug-a-lug-a-lugging right along on to TN.
Thursday
No,
night football.
Yeah, TNF. We have Cincinnati at Baltimore.
God, I can't wait to watch this
this-
game.
This will be an absolute banger Thursday night football. Finally. We've got
Yeah.
a big one on our hands. I want to read some stats off to you guys. Can I do that really
Yep.
fast? Would you
I'm
mind?
I'm assuming it's the same stuff I wrote down because it's huge.
Go.
It's significant. Sorry.
Each of these teams hoist a top 5 quarterback. Joe Burrow, QB5, 2,200 yards, 20 touchdowns, 4 interceptions on the season. Lamar Jackson on the other side, QB1 on the season, 2,400 nearly yards, 20 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He's got a few more rushing yards than Joe Burrow has, just so we're clear. But looking at the running backs, very important. Over the last 6 weeks, Chase Brown, 16.57 fantasy points. Derrick Henry, 22.39 on the season. And then you look down at the wide receivers. Jamar Chase on one side, 18.87 fantasy points per game, 717 yards, and 7 touchdowns on the season. That's almost a touchdown a game. On the other side, Zay Flowers, 4 of the last 5 weeks, he has been in the top 15. He's gone for 111 plus in those weeks. And let me double check that. Because I remember when I initially read that, I was like, there's no way, but it is 100% true. Week 5, 111. That was at Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
Week 6, Washington, 132. Week 8 at Cleveland, 115, and Week 9 against Denver, 127. The only game in those 5 games that he didn't have over 111, he only got 11. So,
Yeah.
but I had to read those stats too. Yeah,
Mhm.
I had to read those stats too, and that was actually only 1 target as well. I had to read that off because the fantasy implications in this game are big.
I have a few more stats unless you
Go
want
ahead.
to
I
continue
got
on.
nothing.
In
Got a headache.
these two teams, the quarterbacks are polar opposites in their records against each other. Burrow and the Bengals are 1-5 against the Ravens. Ravens are 5-1. Conversely, Ravens Lamar Jackson's passing yards in each game, or total between the 6 games. 1,460 passing yards, 12 touchdowns, 2 picks. Burrow's stat line, 1,571 passing yards, 12 touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
Mm.
So more fantasy implications. Quarterbacks here. Everybody here. They always score points against each other.
All right. So who's winning?
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Wes.
Ravens.
You haven't said anything yet.
Ravens are winning. My locks this week are Mike Gesicki and Zay Flowers.
Good locks.
Ravens win in a close game.
Sal?
That's all I
Baltimore.
got.
Baltimore is just so good. They're so good. I really like them. I have them winning. I've got locks all over the place. You can lock Burrow. You can lock Lamar. You can lock Jamar Chase. You can lock Derrick Henry. I want to note that I would also lock Mark Andrews and Mike Gesicki. The Ravens are ranked 23rd against the tight end this year in fantasy football, and the Cincinnati Bengals are ranked 27th against the tight end in fantasy football. I expect both these tight ends to produce.
We'll go for the trifecta. Ravens win this game and continue on their dominance against the Bengals. They go to 6-1. You can lock every one of the studs on these two rosters.
You also can lock that Cincinnati's going to win the game, because last week when we all super locked Houston, I believe, to beat the Jets,
Yeah.
the Jets won. So
I said I felt like the Jets were going to win that one, but I picked Houston. So not that it matters.
Yeah.
But I think the Ravens should win this game, like you said. Unless Trey Hendrickson, who I wish Lions would have somehow gets Lamar, but he's only one man.
Mm-hmm.
Got Sam Hubbard too, though. Anyway, that's all we got. Thursday Night Football.
Yep.
Moving right on along. That's it for the normal portion of our show, if you will. Next up, we are going to transition on over into our home league, the Dynasty League, a league in which Wesley has had a reign of terror over the course of the season. Corey started off bad, and he has gone to great since. And I've been enjoying my peace and mediocrity in the middle of the pack. So, boys, shall we?
Number 3 is not middle of the pack, my friend.
Yeah, but points-wise, you get it. My team.
Oh, yeah.
Got a great dynasty roster. I don't have a great this year contending roster. Inconsistent.
Well, I'll start it.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Based on from because the top is always your game, right? So I put mine at the bottom. I always go to the second game, and then from down there, it's like a Dawes versus Way Away, and Way Away will continue to be way away from the rest of the pack. George Kittle is your lock.
Who is
my
way
good
away?
sir. That would be Wesley, co-host.
Okay.
Dawes
I've
versus
got.
Way Away. Wesley wins that game.
I have Wesley.
You're
Lock my
muted.
whole roster, bud.
I have Wesley spanking him.
In a nice way, or like
I
With a
think
paddle.
looking at it though, if Goddard's healthy,
Goddard is playing, I think.
he's got a chance. I'm looking at Rico Dowdle. I really like his team. He just hasn't really been pulling it together. He's my dark horse to be surprisingly close, though.
It could be close. I don't like Dowdle either, though. What if he puts Brooks in there?
Brooks' practice window just opened this week.
Oh.
Just opened this week doesn't mean he's going to play.
There's a London game?
Yeah.
Panthers to Giants in London. Wonderful game.
Gross,
Wow.
dude. So bad.
London's?
Germany, not London.
Germany, yeah.
Germany.
Oh, okay. What did they do to deserve that?
Started a world war. I don't know.
Hey,
Okay.
Hey,
Okay.
they know they'll be drinking plenty of beer in Germany, so
Yeah.
they'll enjoy the game one way or the other.
Wes, are you taking
Myself,
figured as
enough
much.
said. Lock my
Gee,
whole
tough
roster.
pick. Oh,
Next
gosh.
game I have up on mine is Lagendijk versus Shannon. Predicted to be a fairly close matchup. Shannon's 7-2. He hasn't lost since he made that trade.
Shannon is 7-2, and he beat me.
Yes, he did.
That trade he didn't
That
win
is-
by a landslide, huh? Interesting that he hasn't lost since then.
Wait, what trade was that?
The one where he got CeeDee Lamb.
And who else?
I believe he also got Tony Pollard in that
Hold on a
trade.
second.
And
Yep.
Jordan Addison.
And Jordan Addison,
And
he got
he
off
gave
late.
up
Pittman, and something else.
Michael Pittman. Anyways, moving right along. I actually think this is going to be a pretty close matchup. I really like the way that both these teams' players are playing at this point. I'm not in love with the Michael Pittman or Pat Fryermuth play by Lagendijk, so I'm going to go ahead and tip my cap to 7-2 Shannon. I think that if Cedric Tillman wasn't on a bye week this week, if Jackson Smith and Jigba wasn't on a bye week this week, if Brock Bowers wasn't on a bye week this week, all three of those guys being on a bye week this week kind of...
So this is
It
the
hurts.
exact trade. He got Chris Godwin, Tony Pollard, CeeDee Lamb, Jordan Addison, and in 2025 second.
So he got the wide receiver one
Lagendijk got
at the time.
Pittman, Smith and Jigba, Spears, Mingo, 3 first-round picks and a second-round pick. 2 first in this year's draft and 1 first in the following year's draft. The second in the
Late
following
picks.
year's draft.
Late picks, right?
Well, they will be because
Projected.
the 2 first are Shannon's.
Yeah.
The other first is Team 2, whoever Team 2 is.
Yeah, Chris Godwin getting hurt really made that trade semi-fair.
Yeah.
But when he got Chris Godwin was the number 1 wide receiver.
Yeah.
But he hasn't lost since he made that trade. So, I mean, you look at what he gave up. He really didn't give up anything that affects this year. It'll be interesting how the structuring of his rebuild process will go in the future, or how his future process will go. There's going to be some holes he's got to fill. So, but he's got a good young team as well. So, anyways, I'm taking Shannon. All that to say that.
It's funny that we're talking about that trade and they're playing each other this week.
Yeah.
I got Shannon too. Burrow's gonna have a big game. Bijan's gonna have a big game.
Are we clean sweeping on Shannon?
Yeah.
We are.
Okay.
Burrow and Bijan.
Next game, let's go to carried by QBs. And you didn't know.
Oh, my game.
Let's do it.
You want to go me against Richard, huh? This is projected to be the closest
3-point
matchup.
game.
Actually, no, it's not. It's second closest matchup. Don't make me go first, boys.
Wesley, go ahead, man.
I'm looking at it. I'm going to pull the upset here.
I don't think it's an upset, dude.
Yeah, I got Richard on this one. I think there's a couple guys on your team that could have big games, and same for his team. But I'm looking at the matchups too, like Rodgers against Arizona, C.J. Stroud against Detroit. I feel like C.J. Stroud's gonna have a rough game against Detroit, honestly.
Detroit gives up a lot of points to quarterbacks
Early on.
C.J. Stroud is going to slice and dice. I'm
C.J.
feeling
Stroud
nervous
has no
about
offensive
this
line.
game. Not at all. You're right. You are absolutely right about that.
I'm actually picking you to win against Sal. Nothing against Richard's team, but I think Drake London's going to have a comeback game this week. Not
hurt.
He's gonna come back healthy, and he and Pitts are going to dominate.
I look at matchups this week, and I like a lot of the matchups that guys on my team have. I hate the Joe Mixon matchup.
Mine, New Orleans just lost their coach and secondary, biggest piece of their secondary. That's why I think the Falcons are going to absolutely annihilate the Saints.
I'm taking Richard.
Ooh, Lone Wolf.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Moving
All
on down
right.
to Najee by Neighbors versus I Am Your Father. Darian versus Corey.
This is the closest game.
Yep. Scrolling through, I see
got
why it's
Darian.
close. Do you?
Yeah.
Corey, who you got?
Me. I'm picking me.
I like the confidence.
Arian doesn't have. I mean, his running backs are going to have to carry his team.
Yeah,
I
that's what I
don't
see
think
happening.
JSN repeats. But I don't think they're going to dominate so much so that they make up for all the rest of the.
He's got 4 starting
matchups
running
that I
backs
have.
this week.
One of them is Chuba.
Chuba, Chase Brown, James Cook, and
Chase
Devon
Brown.
A-Chain.
In the rain at Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
James Cook at Indy. A-Chain at the Rams. A-Chain at the Rams is going to eat, dude. Oof.
James Cook could eat too at Indy.
I really want Darian to lose this game because I have his pick. But I'm taking Darian.
All right. Lone Wolf again, Corey.
All right.
Last up, Quinn against Corpy.
Corby. I didn't even look at
Corpy.
it. I'm just
Corpy. Corpy, man.
you got the old man receivers: Hopkins, Devontae Adams, Travis Kelce.
Yep. And Barkley.
Corpy. We're all taking Corpy.
Sorry, Quinn.
He's on the upswing, man. He's looking good right now.
Yep.
Sure is.
He's looking good
He's
right
only
now.
got
Any
3-6
last?
record, but he's had
Corpy-
some unlucky
Corpy-
plays.
Corpy, if you lose this week, now would be a good time to sell
Hopkins?
Hopkins.
Yeah. No doubt. All right, boys.
That's it. It's late. I'm tired. I'm
Yeah.
sorry for my my tiredness, man.
No, you're
I
good.
look tired. I feel
I'm
tired.
sick
But you know
and
what?
tired. I
We're
still gotta
here.
load this up.
It's a good show.
Of
We're
Sal's
happy to be
face.
here. We'll keep. Yeah. Gosh, I hated that, but you know what? It was fun. It's fun doing it. So
And
Good
Corey stayed here.
Corey made it through the whole show.
Has made it through the whole
I
show
did.
since the
Yeah, as
beginning.
soon as you say that, it's just gonna just be like,
That's-
yeah, screw you.
That's fine. We're out of here.
Wes
Yep.
says, oh, dude,
Oh, I forgot to press record.
Got to
I've been
record.
recording.
Oh, actually, now that you mentioned, no, I'm just kidding. All right, good night, boys.
That
I'm
would
out of
be
here.
hilarious.
Peace. Here's my camera.
Later.
Peace. Hey, thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed our content and look forward to more, please drop a like and subscribe to the When Pigs Can Fly Fantasy Football Show.